What's going on, Bear Nation? My name is Ian Miller, and this is DBSN Overtime. Welcome, everyone, to Season 2, Episode 7 of DBSN Overtime. As always, we will be taking you through all the latest news in non-Berlin sports. First up this week, let's check in with our NBA insider, Jack.
Welcome to my NBA segment. I'm Jack Carter, and to start off, let's talk about the NBA tanking controversy. Commissioner Adam Silver has called this year's tanking worse now than in recent memory. Silver has fined the Utah Jazz $500,000 and the Indiana Pacers $100,000 for not playing players that were healthy. To fix the issue, it has been reported that the NBA will implement locking in lottery odds, limiting consecutive top 4 picks for teams, or even taking away draft picks from teams that tank. Now let's talk about some of the recent games. On Monday, the Nuggets defeated the Jazz in a nail-biter, 128-125. The Nuggets were led by Jamal Murray's 45 points, while three-time MVP Nikola Jokic added 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists. For the Jazz, Keontae George led in scoring with 36 points, while rookie Ace Bailey added 18 in the three-point loss to the Nuggets. On Sunday, the Cavaliers defeated the Nets 106-102. James Harden returned from a 3-game absence and had his best game as a Cavalier. Harden had 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. Evan Mobley added 17 points and 13 rebounds as Donovan Mitchell missed yet another game with a groin injury. He is expected to return this Sunday against the Boston Celtics. Now let's talk about the Darius Garland's Clipper debut. On Monday, Darius Garland played his first game as an LA Clipper after being traded from the Cavaliers on February 4th. Garland came off the bench and added 12 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. However, Garland did have 5 turnovers. On Tuesday, the Cavaliers faced off against the Pistons in a battle between two of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, a rematch last Friday where the two teams went into overtime. The Pistons ended up winning that game 122-119. However, last night, second-year player and rising star Jalen Tyson knocked down 5 threes and scored 22 points to lead the Cavaliers in scoring. For the Pistons, Jalen Duren yet again dominated the Cavaliers' front court and scored 24 points and added 14 rebounds for his 5th consecutive double-double. Unfortunately for the Cavs, Jared Allen exited the game early in the fourth quarter with a right knee injury. Allen has been dominant ever since the acquisition of James Harden, and Cleveland cannot afford to lose him, especially after missing Evan Mobley for large stretches over the course of this season. Also on Tuesday, the Los Angeles Lakers defeated the New Orleans Pelicans 110-101. This is the Lakers' 3rd win in a row as they look to build momentum after a rough February month. The Lakers were led by Luka Doncic with 27 points leading the way. He also added 10 rebounds and 7 assists. The Pelicans have a 19-44 record, one of the worst in the league, and put up a great fight against a Laker team that has high expectations. Zion Williamson led the Pelicans in scoring with 24 points, and Trey Murphy III also added 21 points. That is all the NBA news I have for you today. As always, I'm Jack Carter. Now let's send it back to Ian.
Thanks for that update, Jack. With the Winter Olympics recently wrapping up, Alex Stargatz has the inside scoop on hockey.
Hey hockey fans, welcome back. NHL players have recently returned from the Winter Olympics in Milan, Italy. And boy, was it a fun 3 weeks. Let's recap this year's games in the special Olympic hockey segment on DBSN Overtime. 2026 marked the first time in 12 years since NHL players competed in the Olympics. As the 4 nations face-off proved last year, international best-on-best hockey is the best it can get. The games kicked off on February 11th with Slovakia dominating the defending gold medal winners Finland 4-1. 2022 first overall pick Jaromír Slafkovský scored twice with an assist for a 3-point game. Sweden then beat the host country Italy in a surprisingly close game. Italy kept it a 2-goal lead before pulling their goalie, where Sweden scored to seal the deal at 5-2. The next day, the 2 favorites heading into the Olympics, the United States and Canada, played their first games of the tournament. Led by 5 different goal scorers, Canada shut out Czechia 5-0. Jordan Binnington recorded 26 saves on 26 shots. The U.S. beat Latvia 5-5 after 4 unanswered goals through the final 2 periods. All while this was going on, the U.S. and Canada faced off on the women's side of the bracket. The Americans won 5-0 in a commanding shutout win. Cleveland native Layla Edwards made history by becoming the first African-American woman to score in the Olympics. The U.S. finished their preliminary round outscoring opponents 20-1. Back in the men's side, one of the most historic rivalries took place between the Finns and the Swedes. The last time these two teams met was in the Four Nations face-off, and it was a trash-talking thriller. This time, Finland took an early 2-0 lead and never looked back. UC Saros put aside 34 shots en route to a 4-1 Finland victory. The last close game of the preliminary round decided who would come out on top of Group B. Sweden needed to beat Slovakia by at least 3 goals to clinch a first-round bye in the playoff rounds, or else Slovakia would snatch the bye. Sweden took a 5-2 lead late into the third period before they took a penalty, giving Slovakia a Hail Mary chance to receive the bye. Dalibor Dvorsky buried a rebound shot from Slavkovsky to give the Slovakians the playoff bye, and the Slovakian bench celebrated like they had just won the game, despite losing. At the end of the preliminaries, Canada was on top of Group A, Finland led Group B, and the US was on top of Group C. Moving on to the playoff rounds, Switzerland, Germany, Sweden, and Czechia all advanced to the quarterfinals. Czechia narrowly edged Denmark 3-2, which could have been a historic upset. In the first quarterfinal game, Germany couldn't race an early 4-0 deficit against Slovakia, as the Slovakians went on to win 6-2. Down 2-0 heading into the third period, Finland scored twice to tie the game and won in overtime 3-2 against Switzerland. In an intense back-and-forth game, Mitch Marner played hero and scored his first goal of the Olympics in overtime, beating Czechia 4-3. Czechia bounced back strong after almost being upset in the previous round. Lukas Dostal made 37 saves on 41 shots. Finally, in a very close matchup on paper, Sweden and the United States needed overtime after a tough battle, where Quinn Hughes buried an open shot from the slot to win 2-1. After the game, Hughes said, "I love the U.S. It's the greatest country in the world, and I'm so happy to represent here with these guys." And it was very special. Back in the women's bracket, the U.S. and Canada met one final time in the gold medal game. Kristen O'Neill scored the first goal of the game for Canada on a shorthanded breakaway. Canada led 1-0 leading into the final minute of the game, forcing the U.S. to pull their goalie. With the extra attacker on, Layla Edwards sent a shot on goal, which was tipped by Hillary Knight and into the back of the net. The goal set the record for the most goals in an Olympic career, where Knight scored 15 through 5 Olympic games. In overtime, Megan Keller made a phenomenal move to evade the Canadian defender, crashed towards the net, and scored the golden goal for the United States women. In the first semifinal, Canada came back down 2-0 to win 3-2 over Finland. Nathan McKinnon scored with 36 seconds left on the power play to send the Canadians to their first gold medal game since 2014. Jack Hughes' 2-goal game, complemented by a 3-assist effort from Zach Werenski, lifted the United States over Slovakia 6-2. The win set up a 2010 Winter Olympics gold medal game rematch against the United States and Canada. In the gold medal final, the U.S. controlled the play in the first period and broke the scoring seal when Matt Boldy juggled the puck through the offensive zone and scored on a breakaway. Midway through the second period, Cale Makar responded with a snipe off the faceoff to tie the game at 1. Canada had all the momentum heading into the third period, but it's hard to talk about this game without mentioning the heroics of American goalie Connor Hellebuck. In the third period, he made several key saves, including a miraculous diving save on Devon Taves to keep the game tied at 1. If the game couldn't get any more dramatic, the game did go into overtime. Zach Werenski carried the puck up the ice, fought off Nathan McKinnon to get a beautiful feed to Jack Hughes, who was wide open in the slot, where he zipped it in for the golden goal. Final score, 2-1. It was the Americans' first gold since the 1980 Miracle on Ice team. That was it from Milan. Now, let's send it back to Ian.
Great stuff, Alex. As Selection Sunday is about 2 weeks away, DBSN's Kevin Lanasa has the latest news for us in college basketball.
Hello, welcome to my seggy of college basketball. With March Madness 2 weeks away, this is the most important part of the entire season. To start off, let's go to Auburn, Alabama, where Auburn found themselves in a must-win scenario against LSU to keep their March Madness dreams alive. Auburn got hot and stayed hot for the entire game, with a key performance by sophomore guard Tahad Pettiford, who had 27 points with 6 big dimes, in a 14-point win. Next up, TCU went up against number 10 ranked Texas Tech, And after Xavier Edmonds had a 20-point and 12-rebound double-double, TCU pulled off a big-time upset win, winning by 8 points, where they had as low as a 10% chance of winning the game. And as of right now, TCU is listed as a last four bye for March Madness. Now, time for Georgia to play number 16 ranked Alabama. Alabama could never really get going in the game, and Georgia led by as much as 14 points. This is thanks to a 32 bomb by sophomore guard Cannon Catchings. And to end the game, Georgia won by 10, which helped a lot for their tournament seeding, as Georgia is listed as a 9 seed and Alabama is listed as a 4 seed in the tournament. The last game I will be talking about is Ohio State versus number 8 ranked Purdue. Ohio State has been on a 2-game losing streak before playing Purdue, and they needed a win badly, and when they led by 16 points in the second half, it looked good. But Purdue did not give up, and they ended up cutting the lead to 6 points. But it was not enough, giving Ohio State their biggest win of the season, with John Mobley scoring 21 points. With the win, Ohio State is now listed as a last four in. That does it for my seggy of college basketball. Let's send it back to Ian.
Thank you, Kevin. It's shaping up to be an exciting tournament this year. And to wrap up today's show, Dylan has an update for us in the MLB.
Thanks, Ian. My name is Dylan Dixon, and there are some big headlines to discuss regarding spring training and the World Baseball Classic. Spring training is in full swing, and there have certainly been many exciting moments in the Cactus League. The San Francisco Giants lead the standings with a record of 8-2. Heading over to Florida, in the Grapefruit League, the Pittsburgh Pirates lead the standings with a record of 9-2. The Colorado Rockies and Chicago White Sox are turning heads with respective records of 6-5 and 7-6. That's all we have for spring training. Now on to World Baseball Classic news. Exhibition play started on Wednesday with a couple of major league teams actually defeating some international teams. The Kansas City Royals defeated Cuba 4-0. The Athletics defeated Brazil 14-4. The New York Mets defeated Nicaragua 6-3. The Pittsburgh Pirates defeated Colombia 7-1. The New York Yankees defeated Panama 11-1. The Houston Astros defeated Venezuela 3-1. The Toronto Blue Jays defeated Canada 10-7. Some international teams were able to overcome the MLB teams, though. Italy defeated the Chicago Cubs 9-4. Israel defeated the Miami Marlins 1-0. Netherlands defeated the Baltimore Orioles 8-5. Mexico defeated the Arizona Diamondbacks 6-3. Great Britain defeated the Milwaukee Brewers 7-3. Puerto Rico defeated the Boston Red Sox 5-3. The Dominican Republic defeated the Detroit Tigers 12-4, and the biggest blowout of the day was the United States of America defeating the San Francisco Giants 15-1, followed by a combined 5 1/3 innings pitched by Paul Skeens and Matthew Boyd, giving up just one earned run between the two. The game was also followed up with a starting lineup of one we've never seen before, with 4 MVPs, including Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper, Paul Goldschmidt, and Clayton Kershaw. The USA is the favorite to win the tournament, followed by the Dominican Republic. As pool play begins for the World Baseball Classic, I will be back to discuss all the hot topics in the baseball world. That's all I have for you today. Now, let's send it back to Ian.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Season 2, Episode 7 of DBSN Overtime. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on all of our social media accounts. We will see you back here for another episode. For DBSN, this has been Ian Miller.